Chapter 4. Captain Wentworth. Anne had been at Uppercross for several weeks, and she was happy to be there. Mary was a much kinder sister to Anne than Elizabeth, and her children loved Anne very much. Charles Musgrove, too, was polite and agreeable. He did not read books or do much at all, but he loved shooting. Although there were many things that Charles and Mary did not agree about, they were happy enough together. The only difficult for Anne was that everyone at the cottage and at the great house liked to tell her their problems. They knew that Mary usually listened to Anne, and they knew that Anne was good at talking to people carefully, so they all hoped that Anne could help them. Please tell Mary not to think she is ill all the time, Charles asked Aunt, and Mary, not feeling well again one day, told her I don't believe that if Charles saw me dying, he could not think I was ill. Please tell him how ill I am. Mary also had problems at the great house which she shared with Anne. Miss Grumshrop always wants to see the children, but she gives them everything they want. They eat so many sweet things there that when they come home, they are sick and cross. But Mr. Musgrove had a different story. You are so good with the children, Miss Saint, she said when they were alone together one day. Mary gives them everything they want, and they are so difficult sometimes. I am sure she thinks that I should invite them to the great house more often, but I have to give them cages to keep them out of trouble. There were other problems too. Mary thought that because she was the daughter of a baronet, she should have the most important place at the table in the great house. The Miss Mongroves told Aunt that it annoyed them that Mary cared about it so much and always asked to sit on their mother's chair. How could Anne possibly help with all these problems? She listened patiently and tried to talk about things carefully with her sister when she could. In other overt way, and visits started off very well. She was pleased to be somewhere different. At Kellinghall, everyone had thought only about moving to Bath, but at Uppercross, people talked and worried about other things. For a while, and almost forgot about Kellinghall. However, the Crofts were moved into Kelling on the 29th September. When they came, and could not think of anything else. Other people were now living in her much loved home. The rooms and furniture and her favourite corners of the gardeners were now theirs. Her heart was in Kelling again. The Grafs some came to visit at Uppercross Cottage. Admiral Cross sat talking with Mary and her young sons, and so Anne sat with Mr. Croft. She looked at Mr. Croft carefully, trying to decide if she was like her brother. Captain Wentworth, Mr. Croft was right. Dark eyes, good teeth, and an incredible face. She was open and relaxed, and when she spoke about Kellings, she was careful not to say aunt. This pleased Aunt. She could also see that Mr. Croft knew nothing about her connection with Captain Wentworth, and began to feel stronger and braver. But as the Crofts were leaving, Aunt heard Admiral Croft say to Mary, Miss Croft's brother, Captain Wentworth, is coming to stay with us soon. He has just come back to England. A few days later, Aunt heard that Captain Wentworth was now at Kellynch. So after this, the Miss Musgroves came to see Aunt and Mary one afternoon. They were very excited. Captain Wentworth had been to visit them in the great house. They were very pleased with him. They thought he was better looking and more agreeable than any other man they knew, and he was coming for dinner at the Grey House the very next evening. The next evening, Charles, Mary, and Anne were very invited to dinner as well, of course, but Anne at once says that she will stay with Mary's son Charles, who had hurt his back that afternoon. She was happy to escape from his first meeting with Captain Wentworth. Mary and Charles had a lovely evening at the Grey House, where there was music, singing, talking, and laughter. They too came back very pleased with Captain Wentworth, and thought he was very polite and agreeable. Charles has invited Captain Wentworth to go shooting with him the next morning, in the parks at the Great House. Mary and Anne had only just finished breakfast the next day when Captain Wentworth and the Miss Monroes arrived at Tuppercroft's cottage. Anne was full of 1,000 different feelings, but she knew that this difficult first meeting would soon be over, and it was. Captain Wentworth and Anne looked at each other quickly, and he gave her a quick bow. He spoke politely with Mr. Murray, and then Charles said they should go. After just a few minutes, Captain Wentworth left with Charles and the Miss Monroes, who wanted to walk with them to the end of the village. It is over. It is over, Anna says to herself again and again. The worst is over. She had seen him, they had met, they had been in the same room once more. She tries to make herself calm. It was 8 years since it had all ended between them. 8 years was such a long time, but she found that her feelings were still very strong. For her feelings, 8 years did not seem like a very long time at all. Henrietta asked Captain Wentworth what he thought of you, Mary said to Anne later that day, and he was not very polite. He says you had changed so much he almost did not recognize you. Mary could not know how hurtful her words were for Anne. Changed so much he almost did not recognize you, and knew that it was true. Those 8 years had taken her beauty from her, but she could not say the same about Captain Wentworth. He had a more manly and more open look, but she had seen the same feathery Wentworth. Captain Wentworth had said these things about Anne Elliot without thinking that she might hurt them. He did think that she had lost her beauty, and he had said that he thought he had not forgiven Anne. She had given up and hurt him. Even worse, she had given him up because other people had told her to. She had not been strong, and he hated weakness. He had not met anyone like Anne Ellen since, but his feelings for her had died. Captain Wentworth had just returned from Zia and was ready to marry it. He was rich and was not looking for a wife. He was interested in either of Mrs. Monroe if they could cut his hair. A little beauty and a few smiles, and I will be a lost man. He laughed to her sister when she asked him what kind of wife he wanted. But his sister knew that he was a good man. She knew that other things were more important to him. I would like a woman with a strong mind and a gentle character, he said more seriously now. That is the kind of woman I want.